Good evening, and thank you for being here tonight and being part of this wonderful soiree in support of the arts at UVU. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Steve Pullen, the new Dean of the School of the Arts, and I can't tell you how excited I am to be stepping into this position at this amazing and important juncture in the school's history. You know, the arts play a central role in our society, in our culture, and in our economy. And UVU is leading the way in providing serious preparation to tomorrow's professional artists. Now, sadly, I'm not able to be there with you tonight as I am temporarily stuck here on the East Coast. Hurricane Irma caused some 15,000 flight cancellations, and unfortunately, mine was one of them. The flight that was supposed to get me back to Utah last night was rescheduled for Friday morning. But while I may not be with you in person, I am most certainly with you in spirit. I want to send out a special thanks to the Development Committee of the Arts Resource Council, who have worked so tirelessly and creatively in putting together this wonderful event. My family and I moved to Utah about 2 months ago. And let me tell you, when we first arrived, I hardly recognized the place. When I was a student in Utah 30 years ago, the state's economy was seriously lagging behind the rest of the country. It was a great place to get an education, but if you were looking for opportunity or prosperity, chances are you hitched your wagon southwest to California or to other more prosperous parts of the country. But my, how things have changed in the last 3 decades. Today, Utah is leading the country in economic growth and prosperity. With tech companies, financial firms, health and beauty enterprises, Utah's economy is enjoying a high tide like never before. And it's due to the hard work and ingenuity of its people. As I shared with members of the Planning Committee last week, this phenomenon reminds me of the city of Florence during the Italian Renaissance, and more specifically, of the Medici family at the center of it. Allow me to share a little story about that. 15 years ago, I was hired by Warner Brothers to write a screenplay about a rivalry between two of Italy's great masters, Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo Buonarroti. Now, as you might expect, this involved a great deal of research on my part, research that led me to a personal discovery of the Medici family and their dynasty, and in particular, their long history of patronage to the arts. Now, the Medici family was not Italian aristocracy. They were not part of the royal family. On the contrary, they worked their way up through the merchant classes, starting in textiles and trade. Generation after generation of the Medici family clung to the principles of hard work and ingenuity, much like many in the successful families in Utah Valley. Eventually, the Medicis moved into banking, amassing enormous fortunes. By the time of Lorenzo de' Medici, in the late 15th century, the family was the wealthiest and most powerful in Florence, perhaps all of Italy. But Lorenzo de' Medici is perhaps best remembered for his generous patronage of the arts. He lent his great wealth and power to the support of dozens and dozens of artists, artisans, architects, and musicians. Among these were artists you're most likely very familiar with: Botticelli, Ghirlandaio, Verrocchio, Piero, and of course, Da Vinci and Michelangelo. Da Vinci was the illegitimate son of a peasant woman, and Michelangelo's mother died when he was only 6 years old. They had no advantages in life, no family to provide them with opportunity or privilege. But Lorenzo de' Medici recognized the spark of talent in both and took them under his wing, providing them with tutelage and training, room and board, materials, and the means to pursue their art. Had it not been for the patronage of the Medici family, Da Vinci most likely would have become a notary, and Michelangelo would have been just a simple stonecutter. Imagine the poor state of this world without Michelangelo's magnificent David, his soaring ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, his architectural wonder of St. Peter's Basilica, or my personal favorite, the Divine Pietà. or try to consider life without Da Vinci's The Last Supper, or his Mona Lisa, or without his profound contributions to science and medicine. None of these would exist today had it not been for the generous patronage of Lorenzo de' Medici and the Medici family. Now today, Utah Valley is experiencing the wealth and prosperity of 15th century Florence. And I would argue that with that prosperity comes the rare opportunity for sublime creativity through patronage of the arts. I invite you to consider the remarkable and profound good that can be accomplished through you joining with us in taking these amazing young artists under our wings, giving them the same professional training and tutelage given to Da Vinci and Michelangelo all those years ago. Generations to come will thank you. And not just the artists themselves, but the thousands and perhaps even millions whose lives will be inspired and touched by the works created by these artists. I invite you to speak in more detail with Kevin Goertzen, the Assistant Dean for Development for the School of the Arts, about how you can become like Lorenzo de' Medici, who many today call Lorenzo the Magnificent, not because of his magnificent wealth, but because of the magnificent results of his patronage of the arts. Most of you know that we are currently under construction on the new Norda Center for the Performing Arts. It is a breathtaking sight to behold. Newell Daly and Kyle Tresner performed an amazing feat by raising $23 million for this building. And I'm excited for its opening. I hope that you'll join us on the wonderful gala opening a little better than a year and a half from now. But you may not realize that the Performing Arts Complex is only phase one of a two-phase building campaign. Our art and design students, who make up more than half of the school's population, continue to throw their clay and paint their paintings and chisel their stone in dungeon-like rooms that were once auto shops and welding rooms. Kevin Goertzen and I are ramping up a second capital campaign in which we hope to raise yet another $23 million for a new art and design building. I hope that in the weeks and months to come, that you'll visit UVU, that you'll come and walk the halls with me. You'll be able to hear for yourself the inspiring music that wafts through our rafters and from our choirs and orchestras. You'll see the spectacular works of painting and sculpture, ceramics, graphic design, illustration that our art and design students are creating on a daily basis, even under the most dire of circumstances. I promise you that if you'll come and see the caliber of our students, see the outstanding level of talent and the inspiring nature of their work, you too will be moved, and you'll catch the vision of Lorenzo de' Medici. Thank you again for being here tonight. I can't wait to meet you in person and to share with you the wonders of what is transpiring in the School of the Arts at UVU. Thank you.